Hello guys, I wanted to talk with you today about J.D. Vance and his victory in Ohio. He won the Senate candidacy for the Republicans, so out of the Republican candidates for the 2022 midterm who are attempting to unseat Democrat Tim Ryan from his Senate position, they chose, the Republicans of Ohio chose J.D. Vance. So in 6 months we'll see him running up against Tim Ryan, and that should be a very interesting election because J.D. Vance is a very interesting figure. He was so a little bit of background. He's the man who he's the author of the Hillbilly Elegy, which I watched on Netflix last year, and I really enjoyed it. It tells a tale about his childhood and the living in a very poor southern Ohio River community, a steel town in southern Ohio, and his family's problems with drugs and drug abuse in general. His mother's drug abuse, all of that he talks about, and his rise to he got his bachelor's at OSU, Ohio State University, and then he went on to Yale Law School. And since then, he's been involved as a venture capitalist with Peter Thiel, who is a main big guy at PayPal, Peter Thiel. So J.D. Vance, he was outspent by his political rivals, but he was endorsed by Donald Trump on April 15th, and a big deciding factor would also have to be the public endorsement of Donald Trump. I believe it was I think it was April 23rd. It was a few weeks back, maybe 2 weeks back, not even, when Trump came to Delaware, Ohio, to their fairgrounds for his Save America tour, and Donald Trump brought J.D. Vance on stage and endorsed him, and Donald Trump didn't have the best opinion of J.D. Vance before. Apparently, J.D. Vance made some comments. He wasn't a fan of Donald Trump going into 2016. He thought that he called Donald Trump like heroin for Ohio or something. He called him, and J.D. Vance knows a thing or two about the effects of heroin on Ohio. Ohio is maybe the most harmed state of all in the opioid crisis, the ongoing opioid crisis that's been going on. It's been bad. Maybe it's gotten a little better. I don't know, but it was certainly a few years ago. It was a huge issue. It's still a huge issue. But J.D. Vance eventually came around to Donald Trump sometime a few years back, and certainly since he lost to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden took over as president. So J.D. Vance came on stage with Donald Trump. Donald Trump endorsed him. J.D. Vance talked for a few minutes, and J.D. Vance had some interesting things to say about. He talked about finishing Trump's border wall. He talked about dealing with the opioid crisis, which of course is still a really big concern of his. The most fascinating thing I thought he talked about was he seemed very dead set on breaking up big tech. He talked about how big tech's influence has been compromised, and they take a lot of their marching orders from foreign adversaries like China, who uses their money to influence speech in our country, and he considered these globalist corporations. So he got a great response at the Trump rally for an antitrust for support of an antitrust law. So J.D. Vance wants antitrust. At least that's what he said in his speech, and what he's been saying. His rhetoric has generally been about besides and this jives very well with Donald Trump to break up big tech. Donald Trump has had his issues with big tech personally, and the censorship against him, and J.D. Vance seems to want to encourage that as well, and wants to move forward with more legislation against big tech and to break up big tech. He said it. He called out China. He said that Trump's been great on fighting China, called Trump the best president in his lifetime. So he's turned his mind around, at least publicly. And but what's really fascinating to me is this concept of breaking up big tech and these antitrust, which is a very antitrust idea, which I think is a beautiful idea. I think it's a great idea to break these companies up. They need to be regulated. These are the modern public squares, and the government needs to step in and make sure that ordinary citizens' free speech is protected under these public squares. I mean, if Amazon or Apple or Google or Facebook rolled in and bought the town square of your hometown and said, you're not allowed to speak here, you're not allowed to do presentations, you're not allowed to or if you've really got the death penalty, you're not even allowed to, if they really don't like what you have to say, you're not even allowed to show up there. You can't even be there. They've just deleted your account, so to speak. So JD Vance, so we're seeing a remarkable rise in right-wing populism, is what I'd like to say about that. Trump was the catalyst, and since the media and big tech have kind of tipped their hand and showed us what they really believe and how they really hate a lot of these ideas that challenge power, and especially, which oftentimes are conservative voices. I mean, it seems undoubtable that they target conservative voices, or at least, I mean, and also as well, it seems that conservatives seem to have more to say about it. They're louder when it comes to this issue. So, and where is the left on free speech? Where is the left on reining in big tech? I don't think they're interested in that. The Republicans are. And Trump gets audience applause for breaking up big tech. JD Vance gets applause for breaking up big tech. This is a great thing. This is the one good thing. So this happened, as well as Nina Turner lost hers. So I like Nina Turner and I like J.D. Vance. I think they both have Ohio's interests at heart. They're both from Ohio. They both care about raising Ohioans out of poverty and breaking up big tech and reining in these corporatists and these billionaire and these $1 trillion corporations, and they both seem to have Ohio's interests at heart. And and it's unfortunate that Nina Turner lost her congressional race of the 11th district of Cleveland. That's unfortunate that happened, but it's very fortunate that J.D. Vance won. And what it also will tell you is that Donald Trump, as much as many of his critics would like to think, he still has an incredible sway over Republicans, and it's unclear if J.D. Vance could have won it on his own without Donald Trump or without Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was an influential financial backer, even though it wasn't enough to make him the highest spending candidate. He was J.D. Vance was outspent by his rivals, but he spoke from the heart, and Donald Trump does the same for the most part, I would think. And so, and these are issues that should unite the left and the right: breaking up big tech, protecting free speech, raising the working class and the poor to higher levels of financial security, and to make them more prosperous, and to help them to achieve their own American dream. These should be issues that unite the left and the right. And unfortunately, a lot of these voices are only coming from the right, and it seems like they're the ones who are having more success here. Because J.D. Vance is running against Tim Ryan. He might very well, if the Republican wave, if the red wave is really coming, which it looks like it is. I mean, it sounds like the Democrats are going to get killed in the midterms this November. It's only 6 months out. And so J.D. Vance is going to win Ohio. I mean, he's going to win the Senate. I believe that he's going to beat Tim Ryan, the current Democratic senator of Ohio, one of the two, and I think he's going to be our next senator of Ohio, and one of the two. And I think that would be great. I think that it would really make some progress. I think that he will help to break up big tech. He'll help to rein in China, and he'll help to raise the poor out of, he wants to help these people, and I think that's great. So, great news from Ohio on the J.D. Vance front. Not so great for Nina Turner, although I love them both. I think that they're both great candidates, but the left has been the left has been compromised by big money and by a presidential endorsement, who's also deep in the pockets of the corporations. Meanwhile, the former president, who has been seen as a fighter for free speech, a fighter against big tech, a fighter against China, he endorses Vance, and his campaign completely turns around and he wins. And with this endorsement, and plus the red swing, the red wave that we're seeing, that's most likely going to hit the Democrats hard this November, I think J.D. Vance is going to ride that wave, and we'll likely see him as a senator next year. So we'll just have to see what happens. But I think that it's great. Anyway, thank you guys.